Hi, welcome to JCI Live. I'm Mauri, Gandy, and we were going to have a song, but we're having problems in the studio, in the mini studio, so we don't have any DVDs and Mike Lee just came in, and we're going to have, today we're going to have a special program with Mark Crutcher, who's the producer of Maafa 21. And also, we're continuing the documentary that we did last week. Mike Lee and Marilyn Jackson was with us last week, and Debi Wehmeyer is going to join us. Debi is the executive director at Heart of Texas Pregnancy Resource Center right here in East Austin. And we started in September 2012. And
we just opened a new one in Dripping Springs.
Oh, expansion, that's awesome.
And how many babies have you saved?
Oh, gracious. It's so hard to really know. We've just had hundreds of moms in that we know have been affected by the Lord just working at the pregnancy center. And, with everything that's going on with David DeLayden and all of the movies that have come out, the truth. Moms are more, they're not so much, it's my choice. It's like, it's a baby, and they are realizing that.
That's right.
So, it's really makes our jobs a lot easier because they know the truth. They're seeing the truth. God is revealing the truth. So we're just praising the Lord for that.
I know you enjoy every day that you're there. I know you
do.
can get stressed, but you've got so many stories of things that God has just really blessed the women that come and blessed you. And
yes.
it's just great.
Yeah, we did. We've had 2,500 appointments on our last year, which is our fourth year in being open. So we just know that only God could do that. And he's bringing the moms in, and we're just, every day is a joy to go to work there, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of his kingdom work, and not just saving babies, but really and truly helping the moms to know we don't take state funding, as you know, since you're on our board, and so we're free to share the gospel. So lives are changing. Not only are babies' lives being saved, souls are being saved. So it's a mighty, mighty work that's happening there. So just blessed to be a part of it.
It's really interesting how God orchestrated our life here at JCI Live, because we filmed at the Pregnancy Resource Center before. There was a black lady that made us stop filming, saying, well, you don't know, because there's so many drug trafficking going on in that area. There was a city program that was going on that day, and who would know that lives would be changing? And I happened to be at Austin Pregnancy Resource Center filming the day that Lori was going to meet with Tim Pinson. And then after she told me she was going to meet with him, and then I went to October Baby. And that's where I first saw you. We interviewed you after the movie and just absolutely loved you immediately. And then found out you were friends with Jamie because of
Tim Tebow.
She said, hey, do you know this Gandy?
Only God could have done this.
And then the next time I'm filming Lori, she tells me that you're going to be there. She has an appointment with you and Tim Pinson to be the executive director. And I said, Debbie is a God thing. I'll never forget saying that. And she immediately hired you. You were a sidewalk counselor.
Yes.
With Heather
Gardner and Central Texas Coalition for Life. My husband and I we are both sidewalk counselors and pray in front of the abortion clinics in Austin. And so God just was doing all this crazy stuff.
He did all this stuff. I was, oh my goodness. Not that he would have done it without me or without you. He was going to do it.
But you were a pivotal part of starting what was Chicon Pregnancy Resource Center, and it's now Heart of Texas.
I love the name Heart of Texas,
I know, right? I know. That was so from God, too. That has a whole nother story to it, but it's cool.
Yeah, so when you asked me to be a member, I was like, yes, I want to be.
Oh, you're such a blessing. We love you. We love you so much, Mauri.
So Jonathan's going to try to get Mark Crutcher on the telephone with us And I guess we're just going to have to wait for him. Other guests that's going to be on the panel is Marilyn Jackson
Hello, hello, hello.
with the Trailer Park Show. And Marilyn, what position did you run in 2010?
Well, I ran for state representative in 2010 in District 51, and that's Southeast Travis County.
And so are you planning on running again? I know Craig said you should be mayor here.
Well, hey, why not?
Remember that?
Why not Maryland? At some point in time, I will. Next year, possibly. Yes, I will be running again.
Well, we've known you since 2010.
It's been a little bit, huh? We may have met before then in the church circuit. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? So the Gandys. I think we did meet before. Actually, before I ran in 2010, just somewhere, in the church arena.
And Mike Lee is
Mike
now
Lee.
host at Right Talk with Mike Lee.
Yes, I'm a refugee from the Trailer Park Show.
And I don't know when you actually started, because I had just had my brain aneurysm at that time that you had started being co-hosting with the Trailer Park shows.
I first started co-hosting with Pokey, I think it was last August. August.
The time moves by fast.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Pokey, I think, has been on for 18 or 19 years.
Wow, that's a
Well,
long
I
time.
want to do a shout out to Pokey, who's hopefully getting better in the hospital.
Yes.
Hope he gets to see us. Hey out there, Pokey.
Hey, Pokey, put that phone down and go and get your rest now. He's just been working.
Yeah, I know. We went out there to visit with him yesterday, and
And how's
he's doing okay. But it's a fight for him. I didn't realize how much fight it was until I went out there yesterday.
It's hard.
But we were laughing and joking and talking crazy like we always do.
He's been so instrumental.
He's like
And
that
I
bandit
love
that
your
keeps
show.
going.
It's a political show that comes right after Pokey's show. And tomorrow, last week's show that you did about Maafa 21 is going to re-air after your playback. So you're going to have 2 hours
Me?
tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow? I don't have a show tomorrow, I don't think.
No, you don't, but you have 2 shows playing back to back.
Awesome.
So you have 2 hours of pre-recorded shows tomorrow.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I think it'll be good for all the people who are glad we have a pro-life president.
Yes.
Amen.
And he better stay that way, because we're going to.
I don't think he have to worry about that too much.
That's good. Because we really need that.
We do.
No doubt.
It's nice having a president that's pro-life, not pro-death.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was thinking earlier about our outgoing president. I thought, how is it that he partnered, with Planned Parenthood and on whatever level? But I thought, my goodness, did he not know about black genocide? Did he not know about the black aborted babies?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, how he just partnered, with Planned Parenthood. It's just amazing, how we partner with these things, and we know how it's affected not just the culture of people, but really women in general.
Absolutely.
Every from every background. But I'm like, oh my God, you're a black man,
Yes.
and how is it that you partner with Planned Parenthood when they've done so much damage? I'm not saying to hate people. I'm not.
Yes.
That's not the era I'm talking about being in. But I'm just saying, how is it that you partner with this group that has so much against your own culture of people?
Well, that's no different than what comes across clearly in the film, which is how Jesse Jackson turned around, and how the Congressional Black Caucus turned around.
Yeah.
They went from walking out on Planned Parenthood to being the first one in the door, supporting them.
I was listening to Mark Crutcher this morning. I had turned on one of his last, I don't know where he was speaking, but he was talking about the Houston Planned Parenthood, and it being the largest one that we know in the Western Hemisphere, and 5 stories, I mean, just this huge conglomeration. Wow. But with the abortion rate going down as it has, what was the thought process here? Was the thought process his determination, which y'all may know, but his determination was that the plan was for that to become through Obamacare, for that Planned Parenthood to become a federal to become federal, right? So they would be paying, because right now Planned Parenthood's getting like $350 per abortion, but the government paying Planned Parenthood would charge like would be able to pay Planned Parenthood like $4,000 per abortion
Per baby. Oh,
per baby.
my goodness.
So that was the plan, it seems, according to him, for the larger Planned Parenthood in Houston, and that blew me away. I was just like, yeah, and our tax dollars be paying for that, right? And again, it's built in an area low income and by a college. You know, I mean, tell me that is not a target.
But-
I mean, we know, you know.
I think Houston itself,
Yeah, Houston itself.
you know,
yeah,
with all
is
the
a
different
target.
type of nationalities that are there,
Yeah.
just the culture, period.
Right,
You know, oh my goodness,
absolutely.
what a mind, what a clever mind for that person that decided, why not here?
Absolutely.
You know.
Houston was easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the mayor. I mean,
Oh, well.
Houston's an easy. They could go in. I mean, if they came into another town, it wouldn't.
Well, to me, the marriage and the relationship between the African American community and Planned Parenthood is insane.
Yeah, yeah.
It defies just
Thank you.
logic and common sense. If there's strength in numbers, why would you reduce your numbers?
Absolutely.
It's a common sense thing to me.
I think it's a quick fix.
Without
For them.
regard to your religious upbringing and whatnot. But one thing I've always wondered about that I've never had taken time to research is, I wonder what the psychological consequences are of having a termination.
It's huge.
You know, I don't see anything readily available about it. I'm sure it's out there. I just haven't taken time to dig to do the kind of looking I need to do.
It's huge, as you say.
I can say,
huge.
you
It's
know,
huge.
when we offer abortion recovery classes, or not classes, group. We have an abortion recovery group.
It's like a support group?
Support group, yes, and it's actually just a healing ministry. It's called Surrendering the Secret, and it's a national program, but it's a ministry. I mean, it's a healing ministry. It is truly just God breathed, because these women need deep healing. I've sat through it twice with groups of women, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done pretty much in my life, to hear a woman speak of how she made the choice to kill her child, to come to that realization that she made the intentional choice to tear the child that God had given her in her body, and to deal with that, and to talk about that, and to work through that is something that just hearing it and being in the room, and it would, and loving, you know, I just have a heart for women, and God has placed that in me. Heartbreaking. I honestly, I sat through 2, and it's 8-week courses, and I'm like, I can't do it again. It's too hard for me.
What's the name of that course again?
It's called Surrendering the Secret.
Wow,
Is,
that's awesome.
is it kind of like a 12-step program, a recovery type program? Or is it anything
Yes,
specific?
I would say it's a recovery. It's definitely abortion recovery, and it's stepping. In Austin, they renamed it Journey of Hope, because Surrendering the Secret sounds so like out there, like, oh man, I don't want to surrender my secret. I got to go to this thing and surrender my secret. So they changed the name to Journey of Hope with the approval of the lady that started it, Pat Larson, and so Anna Hannah from Bannockburn Baptist Church. She really is the person who.
What's the name of that? What church?
It's Bannockburn Baptist.
Okay, it's out
and
on
the
William
woman-
Cannon.
It's pretty
It's
far.
in West Austin,
And-
but she's
and
come
Brody.
over. She's come over to Chicon. She came to 12th and Chicon, and we had one of the classes there, and then the last one we just sent we sent one of our moms who was ready to go through the abortion recovery to her in West Austin. She drove that way, so
Is she very sensitive about her anonymity?
no, I wouldn't have mentioned her name at all.
I'm just,
Yeah, no, she's out there with it. Yeah.
I'm just a
Awesome.
guy
No.
just
And what
has
is that?
curiosity.
Yes.
1 out of every 3 women who go to church have had an
Yes.
abortion.
Yeah.
That means that 1 out of every 3 men have also,
Right. Yeah.
and that men are having. I mean, that's another problem too. And that was one of the reasons that Craig was such a strong advocate, is because his girlfriend in college, her father forced her to have an abortion, and he was going to marry her. And he joined the Army immediately after he found out. And
You know, as I sit here, I'm thinking, they talk about woman's right to choose and pro-choice and this. It's like that's only half of the equation because choices have consequences, as Obama once said. And there ought to be some attention paid to the consequences of choices made.
Right.
It's like the flip side of the coin.
well, I've had many women tell me the moment they have the abortion, there's something inside of them they knew it was wrong. They may not, they thought it was a tissue before, but that moment they had the abortion, there was something, that motherhood in her, just, she knew it was wrong. And there are women that was at the Capitol in 2013 that had not told anyone the pain that they have had for 30 years until
Right.
they went to the Capitol and told their stories. And also, Abortion Facts says that 50% of the women who have had an abortion are more likely, it's 50% more likely that they die in the next 10 years because they had an abortion. Whether it's alcohol or drugs or all the things that go in because of having that abortion. So it's not just about the baby. It's about the women too. The women are suffering greatly with what has gone on, and they trap it inside, and it's horrific. It really is.
It is horrific. The good news is that Journey of Hope, I wanted to add this to.
What's Journey of Hope?
It's Surrendering the Secret. It's just renamed.
Okay.
And it's abortion recovery. and to see the women when they come in, so beaten down. I mean, I just speak the truth here. You know, they talk about how the enemy talked them into, it's your right, it's your body, it's your choice. You can do this. Everybody's doing it. It'll be the easy way out. And then the second they have the abortion, it's like you killed your baby.
Yeah.
You killed your baby. So they come in so beaten down, many having stuffed this hurt for like 20 years. One of my actually dear friends, she came through abortion recovery and had just stuffed it for like 20 years, but it just had eaten at her and eaten at her and eaten at her. But to see how God just moves them through, and a lot of them understand that God forgave them,
But they can't forgive themselves.
So to be able to walk them through, Jesus died for our sins, not just, everything but abortion, that's such a lie, right? So just helping them to walk through and the Holy Spirit showing up and walking them through, they're truly forgiven, and them seeing them be free, at the end of the 8-week course, right? The 8 weeks.
8 weeks?
8 weeks. But then I will tell you, it's not just over. Oh, I'm great. Then they have to still, it's an ongoing, reminder. Yeah, that I really am.
That's why I was asking you if it was like AA, kind of
Yeah,
like.
it is.
Well,
In a way.
Yeah. I guess because, there's steps. There's definite steps. That's why it's called Journey of Hope. It's like, climbing a mountain. And that's hard in climbing the steps. But when you get to the top, the view is beautiful, and you're free. And so that's, God is just really good like that to heal women and to set them free after making that decision and being lured into it by the enemy, and by our culture.
Now, are men allowed to come?
Well,
There's a huge need.
Yes.
There is a group for men.
Is there?
I don't know if there's one in Austin, but there is a recovery for men. Because
Yeah.
men, I've talked to many men that have
I have to. And there's a huge need, though, I think, for there to be, and women can just reach out and just get a group quickly. Men have to dig and find it, you know what I mean? And it's not necessarily in their area or whatever. So that's a huge need that we have.
That's one of the great things about Chicon or Heart of Texas is that it's not just, okay, they came one day and you talk to them. It's a group. You have built a family there in East Austin, and after their baby's born, they have resources and friends, and
Yes,
it's just
it's
a
awesome.
community of love.
It is. It's a big old love cocoon there. It is. It's really cool. You know, when we first showed up, it was just like, just didn't really know what the Lord was going to, I mean, had a feeling, but just to let him run the pregnancy center and see how it has turned into, we started Chick Chat on Tuesdays, and that's just huge, where the women can come together and we have childcare, and they have gotten to know not only us but each other in a faith environment, in a safe environment where they can talk and they can, you know, they've come to know each other in these 4 years, and new ones come in. And we had a lady come in, y'all, this last Tuesday, and she's blind and she's pregnant and she's about to have a baby, and she's scared.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, she's terrified, and she's so sad because she's not going to be able to see her baby. I mean, she was so free speaking, you know, about how and our moms came around her, and they're like, we'll be with you in the delivery room, and you just call us, and here's our number. And oh my gosh, I was just like, melt my heart, you know. It was like just the sweetest women, and a lot of them, they came in, you know, in there not necessarily believing in Jesus or whatever. So God has really, it's a family. We're all about relationship. It's a kind of a different pregnancy resource center. It's not your,
It's a God one.
it's not your grandma's pregnancy resource center. Yeah, it's definitely God run. Yeah, it's
That's
very
awesome.
cool. It's super cool. Yeah, I love to see what God has done there. I do not take any of the credit, except I just showed up and said, "Go God."
And there will be a book someday about you.
Oh, somebody else will have to write it, so y'all be taking notes.
Oh, you've got a lot to say.
Oh, it's
I
just
remember
do
some of the things you like. A mother would come in needing a baby or a baby buggy with two people, you know, the little kids, two little kids.
twins, yeah.
And Lloyd would bring one that day. But I mean, it was like God knew before.
It's
That
so
happened over and
cool.
over. It was just
God
so awesome.
loves. One thing I have found there. I mean, God loves mamas and daddies and babies. I mean, it's like, ask and you shall receive. You know, it's like it is true. It's like somebody will come in there needing. That day was a sturdy stroller. He was like, I need a sturdy stroller. And the man was Muslim, actually. And he had come for his wife because, I don't know, she doesn't drive, I think. And I was, you know, we were creating a relationship, and he had been in before. So I was like, I had told him before that whenever we, you know, if you come in and ask for something, we just pray about it and it shows up. So this was like he had come back, right? So he had returned, and he was there, and he said, you know, he was needing a sturdy stroller, and I said, we just really don't have any, you know, right now. And here comes my husband, who brings in the stuff, right? And he's toting a sturdy stroller, and the Muslim man, the daddy, was like, you were right, Debbie. He said, you said that. You ask, you know, we ask for it, we pray for it, and the Lord brings it. And I'm like going, you got it, you know, like, oh God. It was just so cool. It's such a great testimony to him, you know, of Jesus. So it was very
I know,
awesome.
God just takes care of those things.
And he does indeed.
I'll have to always remember when you first became executive director, then it's like okay, now you get to find your money. And you, how do I do that?
We started with $1, a dime, and a diaper. I mean, we didn't have nothing. Nothing.
Didn't even have that.
I was about to ask, what do you do? How you approach obtaining finance or support?
You know, praying.
Pray.
I mean, we pray
Okay.
it in. It's called a faith-based budget, and we just pray it in. I mean, seriously. And there are some very, I mean, there's one church particularly that supports us, Austin Christian Fellowship. I'm going to give them a
Yay!
from day one. Yay, Austin Christian Fellowship. From day one, God used them. And then mostly, though, it's individuals. And I'm amazed at the people that just really are in Austin that love Jesus and love mamas and babies and say, yes, Lord, whenever he tells them to write big checks, you know.
Where is that church?
Where's what?
Where is that church that
That
you
Austin
refer
Christian
to?
Fellowship, their main campus is in Steiner Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's crazy. There's so many people from Steiner Ranch that come in to volunteer
Wow.
at Chicon Pregnancy Resource Center. They drive in like weekly, and it's crazy. It's so awesome. But I've hit a lot of the East Austin. This is gonna like come back around. I've gone to a lot of the churches in East Austin, right? And I kind of have Greater Mount Zion. They have been like, we have latched hands, and their moms are being mentors to our moms, which we're so thankful for them. But we just haven't been able to get through the door of a lot of East Austin churches, which is really,
been a real struggle.
It's been a very big struggle, and it's been, I just scratch my head because we go back to Maafa 21, and we go back to like, really? I mean, Planned Parenthood is not your friend.
See,
You got his phone number? No,
That's
okay.
true.
I'm going to go. Y'all keep talking. I'm going to see if I can get Mark.
no, Planned Parenthood is no
Planned
one's
Parent-
friend.
No, it's not your friend. And, I think that, and I hate to say this, but I've heard this from Walter Hoy. Do you guys know him? He's a pro-life. He's a
Not
black
familiar
guy.
with him.
He's a international, or I don't know about national pro-life speaker. But he's one of the first people I talked to whenever I opened the pregnancy center, and he is a pastor, I do believe, but he's really a pro-life speaker as well. But he said, Debbie, he said that the black churches, a 16-year-old comes to a pastor, and he has not known what to do up to now, except, send them to Planned Parenthood. I mean, that's just been the kind of like, we don't have the money to like help her, right? So Planned Parenthood has been a lot of their friends. It's been the easy way out. So, I mean, I would like to believe that is wrong.
So we have the challenge of educating and informing
Absolutely.
the community, right?
Yes, sir.
The
Absolutely.
church at that.
Yes.
The
Yes,
church.
the church
I mean, the
specifically.
church. Yes.
Specifically the church. I mean, because and I know this needs to start at the church. The church needs to be the one going, you know what? Okay, so you're pregnant. Well, we're going to help you out. I mean, really, they can just send them to us, but then we have to send them back because it's like we do the free pregnancy tests, we do the ultrasound, we help them get set up with a doctor, and all of that. But they need Jesus, and we're not the church. You know what I mean? So they need to be willing to take that little girl back in and love on her and not judge. And
Well,
you
you,
know,
you said
How
the
do you
word, not
how do you
judge.
approach that challenge? What do you proactively do to try to address and meet that challenge
which challenge would that be?
of getting the education information out to where it needs to get to?
You know what? That's just a really good question because I'm so busy running two pregnancy resource center. I have gone and I don't know the answer to that. I wish I knew the answer to that. I just don't know the answer of educating the churches. I think if someone could, somebody could just, I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. They need to be educated though. I mean, our folks that are around us and our, in East Austin, the pastors specifically, the women's ministry, the women's ministries, they need to know about Maafa 21. They need to know about the eugenicist plan.
Oh, yes. I think, too, that the church itself keeps secrets, too.
Yeah.
They don't want things to get out about, if a young, like this 16-year-old becomes pregnant,
Right.
they want to hide that. They want to move that around. It's just a mindset, from...
But that's with the white people too. I mean,
Sure.
so many elders, if their daughters get pregnant,
They
they
send
want to
them-
kill their grandbabies. I just don't get it. I mean, why would you want to kill your own grandbaby? Because the church doesn't. Somebody in the church might know that her daughter
Yes.
had sex outside of marriage. I mean, come on. I mean, it's.
But I don't think that that they would think I don't think they feel like at that moment it's a sin. I think it's something they feel like they need to get rid of it. We need to take care of this issue. But they
Right.
don't realize what they're doing.
It's just a quick fix.
And why would you take it in your own hands to take another person's life?
Sure, absolutely.
I mean,
it just doesn't make any sense. But the devil is sly. And I mean, the devil is sly, and he's used the culture, right? And he's used it's your right, it's your body, it's your choice.
Yeah.
And you think about it, and if every one out of every 2 black women have had abortions, then how many pastors' wives, I mean, truly, have had abortions and haven't gone through abortion recovery? And so you go to that pastor, and that pastor has, there's 2 people, as Mauri was saying earlier. It's not just the pastor's wife, but the pastor. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a time when he was young and wasn't, sitting. So he's got his pain too. So he might not want to hear about, about the truth, right? The truth is sometimes really hard to face in your own life. I don't know. That's something else that I had spoken with another friend of mine who is also a black pro-life speaker throughout Arnold Culbreth.
But it's
right?
real. It's
real.
It's real.
It's absolutely real. It's the truth.
Yes.
And you just have to face that truth and then go, what now, Yeah.
In Maafa, there was over 1,700 babies that they found at a dumpster that had been aborted. But of those, 1,500 were black.
Right.
Heartbreaking.
And what is it, 70%, even more than 50% of black women who are pregnant will not carry their baby to term. They will have an abortion.
Well, they look at abortion as birth control, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that quick fix.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah,
And what is it? By the time you know you're pregnant, the heart's already beating. In the Roe versus Wade bill, it actually said if we prove that that this baby is a life, that it's a beating heart, then we can overturn it. And we've already proven over and over. I mean, everybody even back then knew. But
Well, one thing I tend to listen very carefully to what's being said sometimes. And when there was an interview with the president-elect, and he was saying, the gist of what he was saying was, same-sex marriage is a settled issue, but maybe not so much. He wasn't so clear on abortion. So that gives me hope with these Supreme Court appointments coming. Was at least this one coming up, and then some others perhaps to follow.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a chance that it could be reversed.
and when you watch Maafa 21, you find out president after president after president was all in the whole setup to have the babies killed. It's like, it's we've got to get rid of the black people. We got to get rid of the what do they call it? Feeble-minded.
Yes.
Yeah, feeble-minded.
And you have documents, and that's what I love about Maafa 21. It's not just a documentary. He backs up everything that he says. I mean, he'll show the article, or he'll have a video of where this really happened. It's not like, hey, I think this happened. It was a cover-up. No, it is. It's
Fact.
right there. It's in your
Fact.
face. Yeah.
That is amazing. Now, was it of those presidents, were any of those Republican presidents? Were
Yes.
all Democrats?
Yes. So
Nixon
it's
and all
not
of
a
them.
Democrat, Republican.
It
It's
was-
a
it
race
was-
issue.
That is
Yes,
amazing, isn't it? Well, it was a color. It's all about. Well, then there was the genocide. So
But it's not just the color. They're saying it's if you're low class, or if you don't have a huge elite job, then they're going to get rid of you. And
the elitist.
I mean,
That's right.
The latest.
That's amazing.
no.
And I thought Clinton was supposed to be anti-ethnic cleansing. I think that's what was that about? He said
Well,
Kosovo.
He couldn't have been when Margaret Sanger walked into his office at once he was sworn in as president, and told him, you know what to do. Him and Hillary, you know what to do.
And Hillary won the Margaret Sanger Award and proudly accepted it.
She just thinks
That
it's
is
wonderful.
insane. That is insane. I mean, these are smart people. They're not stupid. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like they don't know what Margaret Sanger did.
It's
I
a money
mean-
issue. It really is. I mean, the politicians have got money in there, like you're talking about Jesse Jackson and almost all the politicians will, once they get some money in there, whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Strong spirit of delusion,
Well, it is, and all money ain't good money.
Oh, no.
All money ain't
They
good
may
money.
not all play dominoes.
You're right. Because, I mean, it all comes back to your morals and values. I mean, it's some dirty money, you need to leave it alone.
Absolutely.
And really trust God. And that's my thought for Jesse. Jesse Jackson. I wish he had just left it alone and just really trusted God. I mean, I believe that God had him doing what he done for a reason.
Right.
And then for him to partner with it, it just messed things up.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I do.
And then he went out, as they say in popular language, he got a baby mama.
Well, he's got a baby mama.
Yeah.
He sure does.
Yeah. What freaked me out was like seeing Obama during the presidential race and Cecile Richards sitting right next to him. I'm like, are you kidding me? Having the president of Planned Parenthood just plopped pretty much in your lap. It was like, not family, not a pastor, but Cecile Richards. It's like, okay. I mean,
so you're saying the spirit of death
insane.
sitting next to him, huh?
Spirit of death sitting next to him, and he's partnering with it, and he's pretty much in bed with it.
Well,
I mean, seriously, it's
what
crazy.
hope can you bring? What hope can you bring? That was his thing about hope.
Hope and change. No
Well,
one
yeah.
asked him to define that hope and change.
Yeah.
It's some intense stuff. I mean, there's really nothing worse than killing babies. I mean, think of it. What is more evil than killing a baby in a mama's womb?
Well,
There's nothing more evil. And to have a president, God be with him. May he have a, Damascus Road Saul, Paul moment. I mean, because he has got scales on his eyes like a big time.
oh yeah.
So sad. I'm sad for them. I mean, I'm truly, it's a mess.
Well, maybe this would be a good time. As he said, he was going on vacation. This could be a good time for him to really sit back and reflect and allow the Lord to really deal with his heart.
Man, I hope so.
We bless him.
Yes,
Outgoing, we bless
absolutely.
him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't help but think of all the destiny
Yes.
that has been destroyed.
Absolutely.
Oh,
These-
yes, I know.
Kids will never know who they were and could have been, and who were they destined to be
Absolutely.
before, God knew who, he predestined and ordained everything about us. And then for us to kill them, we don't even know who they are. We don't get the opportunity to know who they could have been,
Absolutely.
So I just think about all that destiny
Yeah.
that's gone.
I know, it's very heartbreaking. But God,
But God.
if I ever get a tattoo, it's going to say, but God.
You already
But
got
God.
one. You already got one. It's in your heart.
Absolutely.
You
Tattooed
got your
on my
heart tattooed.
Yeah.
But God,
He's still on the
yes.
throne.
He's still on the throne.
And none of this surprises him.
You're absolutely right. But we still have to get the word out, don't we?
Amen. We got our jobs
We
to do.
still have to get the word out.
We have our jobs to do.
Enough is enough.
Amen.
You know.
And how do we do that, man? I mean, how
Wow.
do we do that?
Share.
Yeah.
Just take that strip off and just begin to speak, and we just can't be silent about it anymore. Enough is enough. And times and time when we share things, and you'll know sometimes if it's pricked somebody. We don't necessarily do it on purpose, but hey, we still want to reach you. So if they in turn, entreat you wrong, that's okay. They should let us know. We hit something. Something was touched. You heard something of what I'm saying. You may
Right.
not want to hear what I had to say,
Right.
but you felt that.
Right.
And I meant for you to feel it, but in a way to where it would change your mind and bring you back around this way. But really just to see, for you to see. I want you to open your eyes, and I tell this to my nieces all the time. No, this is not it. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. So it starts at home.
Right.
And so we have to bring our kids up. We have to teach them, what's right and what's wrong,
Absolutely.
So should you end up pregnant and don't want to be, guess what? You have a whole bunch of big aunties around here that can help you with that baby.
Absolutely.
You bring me that baby and I will
That's
watch that
right.
baby for you.
That's
Look,
right.
don't do that. You're here. And that's what I tell mothers all the time. Your mama didn't kill you. Why would you kill your baby?
Absolutely.
You're here.
Yeah, I hear
You're
that.
here. Don't do that to that baby.
Yes.
That baby can't speak for itself. It didn't ask to be here, but it's here now. You just need to deal with it.
One thing that I'm seeing that I find really just like there are so many people waiting to adopt babies.
Oh, God.
I mean they and babies. I mean they can to adopt a baby.
Yes.
Is like $40,000 to $70,000.
It's an industry.
Insane.
It's an industry.
It is an industry, and people are waiting, and the supply and the demand are off.
Oh, my God.
I mean, and so, but these mommies come in, and it's like, if I have this baby, I'm going to raise this baby. So it's either, that's cultural, I think, a lot. You know what I mean? It's like, if I have this baby, I ain't going to give it up for adoption. So it's like, but you would be blessing someone. You don't want the baby, so consider this, think about this, and it's just like they don't want to hear about adoption at all. And, so I've got these people calling me on this hand going, please keep us in mind. I just talked to a lady last week, and she's just praying and begging for, a baby, her and her husband. But our moms are really like, if I'm either going to abort or I'm going to raise a baby. Yeah.
And that happens more with the black community than the white community.
Yes, I think that is absolutely true. And Hispanic, the culture is kind of like, if you have that baby, you don't place that baby for adoption. You raise
Hispanics that way
baby.
too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how it's been, It's
My
just
thing
very
is,
family.
If you want to keep your baby, that's a different thing. I mean, I guess the point I want to make is that if you gave your baby up for adoption opposed to aborting it, can you imagine how much better off CPS would be?
Right.
Because if you didn't want the baby in the first place, that don't mean that you're going to be the best mama you know how to be or can be.
Right.
I mean, there's
Right.
so many young girls
true.
out there
Marilyn.
at middle age 20, 25, 26, 27 that have 3 and 4 kids already. CPS had already been in your house here and there,
And your
have taken
stuff.
your taken your kids. You end up getting them back. You go to classes and whatsoever. These children, you're talking about messed up. I mean, really, why don't you allow somebody to adopt them that's going to give them a good home where they can be
Absolutely.
loved?
Absolutely.
But what
Absolutely.
really gets me is that you keep getting pregnant.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
different baby daddy for every
True story.
pregnancy, and that is not. And
True
and
story.
the very moment that he knows that you're knocked up, even if he got a chance to find that out, he gone. He didn't want that. Some say, I already have 2 babies. What am I do with another one? And then you stuck with it, and don't you by yourself. What do you do? Besides, number one, stop getting pregnant.
Yeah.
You need to get healthy. Your mind needs to be healthy. Oh, it's a cycle, and we have really got to shut this door to this broken cycle.
Speaking of shutting the door, it's one thing I haven't checked on, but there's a lot of things I haven't checked on. But one of the things I always wonder about, when I hear about partial birth abortion, and I have always said, I wish they would put that on primetime TV and let people see it.
Primetime
The
TV.
mic.
It would end the next morning.
Well,
Obama was the
One would
first
think.
senator, or the only senator that was for partial birth
abortion.
abortion.
Yeah.
And we knew that before he
I
even.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Uh-huh.
that. Wow.
he voted for that. So
Wow.
you knew, right?
That was.
we should have
Should've
checked the
known that.
well, we should have checked
Well,
the
I think-
financial contributions.
I think
to
Hillary's
see.
thing was that babies are fair game until they're outside the womb.
That's
Right.
Even outside the womb.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of
that's
abortions
They don't have any
happen.
rights. They have no rights.
that's the one that turned you from a never Trumper, huh? Is that what turned you, Mauri?
For him doing that?
For her saying,
From
From
her saying the baby doesn't have a rights
you,
until they're
you went,
Oh, well,
you went
I
from
mean,
a never
Hillary,
Trumpist to a never
I
Hillary,
know the
didn't you?
story about Hillary well, since her husband was there.
I think Mauri would have always voted for life no matter what. Right? I mean, yeah.
7 kids, you think?
Yeah, that's a good indication.
But there was a time after my first divorce, my only divorce, but that I was pregnant and considered, even though I, believed. I mean, so I understand. I mean, you got 4 kids and a husband that doesn't want to take care of and is away, and what do you do? And yeah, but I mean, I had 2 more kids after that with another man, and was greatly blessed,
Yeah. I mean, I think people get in predicaments, and that's a thought that come across their mind, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to follow through with it, but it is a thought because that option is always there. But in the end, I think that's what matters the most is what it is that you do in the end, So
one thing that just back on adoption, because that's really on my heart a lot, is I think, back in the old days and when I was growing up, you gave your child up for adoption and you never saw that baby again, ever. And that has changed. And I don't know that people really know now that there's open adoption, and that's happening a lot. And, women can have babies and be a part of that child's life the whole time they're growing up. And not have the responsibility and not have to pay and not have to, but be a part of the life of that child. And it's just a really cool thing. And I've heard just real huge success stories from, it's just it's more healthy, you know what I mean? Instead of just like, but people don't understand, women don't understand that is an option now, that you could have somebody else raising your baby but still be a part of their life, So anyway,
it won't feel
I
so
just thought I would
empty.
bring that up. It won't feel so empty and not knowing where the child is and wondering, their whole life, what does it look like, he or she, and all of that. But yeah, it's just a healthy option that I think another thing talking about just getting the word out and educating.
Yeah.
That's another thing I think that we've dropped the ball on, is just educating on what adoption can look like. Instead of like you're giving the baby up and never see it again. That's not necessarily true.
That's why shows like we have where we talk about these issues, because that's not on the mainstream media.
No, it's sure not.
And women who have had abortions or adoptions, we've had them on our program, and I've had so many people say, because they hear these stories, it helps them save their babies, or have that secret that's in them, and realize there's help out there.
It is.
I'm really sorry that we didn't get a hold of Mark Crutcher. I mean, I talked to him earlier today, and he was, we found out how to call him, and we're going to call his studio. And but he had Maafa 21 that was started in 2009. I did see that he was hoping it was going to be 10,000 videos that he would produce, but it has been over 200,000 that they have had already. And
200,000
200,000
instead of how many thousand? 10?
He was hoping he would get 10,000. That was his goal, was to have 10,000 videos, and it's just taken over. And there's at least 500,000 that have watched it online that they know of. Because the online is great too. You can go to maafa21.com and watch 30 minutes of it, and then go back and watch it again at the next part, because it's a 2.5 hour video, almost 2.5 hours. But Mark Crutcher has a life talk out of Denton, Texas, and we are going to be airing that starting at 2:00 today. Will be the first one that will air. It was produced in November, and it was on the African, the African American myth of abortion is on there. The myth of abortion regret. He talks about that. The African community. And Terry Beatley, I think it's pronounced, she has a book called Abortion King, and she's going to be on that show. This book is about Dr. Bernard, is it Nathanson?
Nathanson.
Who was the
that's
one
good.
that was the co-founder of, is it NAPA?
Oh, I'm not really sure.
It's the abortion for pro-life. He's one that did the silence, the silence.
He was an abortionist for
Right.
ever, and then he saw the light and found Jesus, and is like, hugely pro-life now. He is a very
he's dead
interesting
now.
man.
He
Oh
died,
well,
yeah.
okay.
Well, he had a Damascus Road experience, huh?
He what?
A Damascus Road
He
experience.
had the Damascus Road experience. Absolutely, he did. Yeah.
Terry
Wow.
wrote a book about his life and how he wanted her to let everybody know the truth, because he realized the truth, that these babies they were people. They were, he would try to do the abortion, and they would have the video and the sonogram, and the baby was kicking back, trying to get away.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's called the silence.
The silent scream.
And so he talks about that. And then the next Sunday, we'll have his January program that was an hour and 16 minutes. And he does a great job with his videos there in Dallas with great advocates, pro-life advocates. And so I'm really glad that he's allowed us to share those here at the studio in Austin.
That's awesome.
It's very awesome.
So be
He's
sure
a warrior
to,
for
he
life
is-
from way back.
Oh, he's an awesome guy. I was so hoping we'll have to get him in. I have to find out. Sunday's a bad day to get people. You just went to church, and
It's hard to get in here.
but I'm so glad y'all all came in and to be with us, especially since we've been having studio problems. Our switcher went out of us in the mini studio at Christmas time, right before Christmas, and we have a new switcher that's just temporary. So we're hoping to get our switcher fixed again so we can do DVDs and videos and all kinds of stuff again. But right now we're just doing talk. So I'm so glad y'all were here. How is your show going? I know you're going to have...
My show, my next show is going to be, I'm going to have Mimi Styles on, Kazike Prince, and Dr. Courtney Robinson. And we're going to talk about education solidarity.
What's that mean?
I have no idea.
You're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
I'm going to be educated.
I love that. That's good.
I get to learn. I like that. I like that kind of thing anyway.
That's awesome.
And tell us, we have just maybe 4 minutes. Tell us about the coming event for
Yeah.
Heart of Texas.
I know, I do too.
I still have Chacon Pregnancy Resource Center.
I totally know. I do. I say that all the time. CPRC.
Where is that on Chicon?
It's 12th and Chicon, right on
12th?
the corner.
Because I
yeah,
know
come by
Planned
and see
Parenthood
us.
is right there,
Yes,
next
We're
to Houston
within
Tillerson.
walking distance of Planned Parenthood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 7th. They're at 7th and Chicon, and we're at 12th and Chicon.
Oh.
So yeah, God strategically placed that pregnancy center there. But we have an event. It's our annual gala fundraiser, and it's March 23rd at the Westin at the Domain, and we have a gentleman, Kirk Walden, like speaker. Kirk Walden will be our speaker that day. We've had some very awesome speakers. Ryan Baumberger,
Yes, he
who
was
was
awesome.
he was conceived in rape, and was adopted, and his mom placed him for adoption. He's just an awesome guy. He's an awesome
He
guy.
has the
He's
great
got a-
little short videos that are just awesome.
yeah, he runs the Radiance Foundation, he and his wife Bethany. And then we had Claire Colwell, who is a abortion survivor.
She was at the march 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, she's here in Austin. And then Abby Johnson spoke last year, who worked for Planned Parenthood for close to 10 years and left after seeing an ultrasound-guided abortion, and is now helping women get out of the abortion industry through her nonprofit. And then there were none. So, yeah, this is our 4th. I can't
She was,
believe it. Yeah.
She was in the industry when we just started TV here. So that's how long she's been.
Well, she is who God used.
Yeah, I
She is who God used to make us, my husband and I, passively pro-life to actively pro-life, praying in front of abortion clinics. Her testimony rocked our world, and he used her to actually open the pregnancy center at 12th and Chicon. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be doing that. So God's really smart. He
Yeah,
does
he is.
things really, really cool ways. Yeah.
So
He
the
really
pro-life march is going to be on Saturday, September 28th. It's something that my family
huge.
always goes to since Jamie was a little baby, and she's like 25 now. You know, so
That's awesome.
we've been part of the pro-life march, and we've always filmed it. I plan on filming it again this year so that people can see it if they can't come, because there are a lot of people who are not able to go to the Capitol. They're housebound, and they love to watch what's going on
Absolutely.
here.
Yes. Yeah.
Are there any websites you would recommend that people explore in order to like get informed
Get
on
informed.
this?
Golly.
You have one for your organization, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could get on. We're in the middle of redoing ours right now, but Heart of Texas, PRC.org is our personal website. Gosh, the Radiance Foundation is a really good one on just, I don't know, just Ryan talks a lot about, eugenics and that type of thing.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. So,
And our JCI-ministries.org has lots of our programs that we had with people talking and testimonies
That
and
is
pro-life
awesome.
stuff.
and another thing I'd like to bring up really quickly is Central Texas Coalition for Life has a website that, and it just helps people to know how to maybe go and pray just peacefully in front of abortion clinics. And there's a lot of information on there as well about just abortion statistics and all of that.
That
Yeah,
is real
and
good.
what's
Now,
going
who's the
on.
group that Joe Poyman is with?
Texas Alliance for Life.
Texas
That's
Alliance
the
for Life.
march.
That's another one too.
Yeah, there's quite a few, websites that are very informative.
She's awesome.
I wish I could just say there's one.
Well, keep watching TV because we're going to have the Life Talk that's going to be on for the next 30 minutes with Mark Crutcher out of Denton, Texas. And thank y'all so much for coming. And I'm sorry we were so excited to have Mark, but I guess we'll find out why he wasn't in the studio.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And there'll be another time, hopefully.
Yeah.
We go end it.
Thank you.